Hey guys, we're back, episode 2 of my Kerbal Space Program 2 series, and today we're going to try and dock 2 spacecraft together, because it's kind of our next step after orbit, because, we have to dock 2 spacecraft together to do a moon mission, or at least not a direct ascent, because, direct ascents are cool and all, but they're kind of boring. The Apollo had a lander, and they had a module that would also bring it back. So they need to dock together to be able to, interact with each other. So we're just testing out the docking sequence for 2 spacecrafts, and that's what we're doing today. So we pop into the build menu, and I was going to use the really small one, but I decided to build a really huge spacecraft with the largest command module possible, because that'd be silly. And that's fine. Nothing bad happened, but I could have used smaller spacecraft, but I just wanted to test out the abilities of the large ones. Sorry, I'm quite tired recording this. It's 9:56 at night, but it's the time I have, and I'm recording this on Monday, and it's probably going to be uploaded on Tuesday because my schedule's Sunday, but that didn't really work out, unfortunately. So here in the build menu, back to on subject, we're making a asparagus staged rocket, which means each booster is tied to each other and they each drain. So two fuel tanks empty. So there's 6 of them. There's 6 of them. 2 empty, they get jettisoned. Now there's only 4 left. There's 2 of them that drain into the last 2 tanks. Those empty ones that drain into the last 2 tanks get jettisoned, and so on and so forth. Apparently it's just a really efficient way, but as you'll see later in the launch, I didn't do it right, so it just all messes up, and my spacecraft just wouldn't want to launch for some reason because the launch clamps were positioned weird, and it kept on breaking parts, so I had to revamp that. So I just went with taller launch clamps instead. So we're about to launch. You can see our rocket has multiple boosters and just a giant singular engine on the first stage. Very loud. It's quite a large craft. It's about the size of a half the Saturn V. It uses one of the Saturn V main fuel tanks, so it's very big. Bigger than the space shuttle. But anyway, here's our first craft. Obviously there's only one in there, so how are we gonna dock 2 spacecraft together? We launch 2 rockets. So you'll see that my asparagus staging, I think onion staging is something different, but my asparagus staging went awfully wrong and they just kind of failed. But hey, we still made it into space anyway. It's Kerbal Space Program. If things don't go to plan, you just don't care. If your rocket's still flying, I guess it's a plus. But see where I was checking my aerodynamic just menu right there, and we put our apoapsis at 100,000 meters. That's just so basically the atmosphere ends at 70,000, but it's really safe to go for 100,000 because using the docking maneuvers, the way also you can see how our fairing just bugged out right there, kind of weird. I figured I'd get it on camera. It's really funny. But 100,000 meters gives us a lot of spare space to be able to maneuver in the orbit. Because if we get our orbit too low, we're re-entering the atmosphere, and that's very bad, unplanned anyway. So we're rounding out our orbit here, and just getting into a stable equatorial orbit that is just nice and stable and circular. So we are packing more Kerbals into our spacecraft. This is our second spacecraft, and you'll see I get into the menu, or the map menu, and I am time warping to where the other spacecraft you can see to the right. It's looping around the planet, it's orbiting around, and we want it about, let's say that we're 6 o'clock on a watch. Our spacecraft, which is the one that's on the bottom of the planet, you see, you kind of want it to be you want the spacecraft that's coming towards you to be 7 or 8, in the middle between 7 and 8, if you're talking about a clock, if you're on 6 o'clock. But anyway, So you can meet up with it anyway. So when you fly upwards, you're going to be flying sideways, and eventually your speeds will meet, and you will catch up to it. Basically, it's like trying to catch up to a car that like sped past you on the highway that's going fast, and you accelerating to meet it, and eventually you two will match speeds, and you'll be right next to each other. It's kind of what we're doing here, but 10 times harder. And yeah. Also, my asparagus staging, even though I tried to fix it in the build menu, failed again, as you can see in a minute whenever they run out of fuel. Let's see. And any moment. Oh, also, this rocket is very unstable. Up there it goes. Yeah, one of the engines is off. I have no clue what's going on. But this spacecraft is very unstable. I'm sure you can tell. I was struggling trying to keep it going in one direction, but once I pick up speed, it becomes a lot easier. And I also think it has something to do with the boosters, because it seems just fine with the single stage right here. So you can see we're matching our speeds with the first aircraft, or spacecraft technically, but our orbit is a little bit skewed, so we had to do some maneuvers to fix that. High up in the atmosphere, so our rocket wasn't too damaged by making such a high G maneuver. So we have our separation to the left right there. You can see 2A and 2B. Those two, I am making a maneuver. You can see distance from target. You want that to be as low as the number as possible. And I got within like 90 meters of the spacecraft, 70, yeah. Obviously that doesn't stay like that because I had to fix it later on. I had to do a readjustment burn, but it's fine. And our fairing bugged out again. You can see it just goes... Yeah, the game is obviously not very finished and isn't quite ready to be put on the mark. Well, it's in its pre-alpha, or no, it's in its alpha stage. I think pre-alpha is before the game gets released to the public. But hey, obviously I'm playing the game and it's running okay on my computer. It's probably the fact that I have a 1080p monitor and not a 4K monitor, because most people that run this have 4K monitors and it absolutely blows up their computer. Because, you know, 4K is 4 times as detailed as 1080p, so it's like 4 times the renderings you have to do on the computer, so obviously it's going to create a lot of traffic for your GPU and stuff. But anyway, we're burning along with the other spacecraft. You can see we're catching up. This is where we're starting to catch up, because you see it's going faster, the one on the bottom, or closer to the bottom of the screen, and then ours is the one that's towards the planet a little bit more. And we slowly catch up speed, and you can see I'm making that maneuver node as close to there as possible. And then I think I make another one where what am I doing? I don't know. I recorded this footage on Saturday, I think, so it's been quite some time since I have recorded this footage, so I don't have it very fresh in my head anymore. But you can see I made my readjustment burn, or I didn't make it actually, I'm making it right now, see? The maneuver. And I'm slowly making that number smaller and smaller. And then I'll show you what we do next. I'm actually probably going to do a detailed video later about how to get into orbit and how to dock, because those are things that I struggled with a lot when I first started playing this game, and I figured that if any of you viewers actually play this game yourselves, it'll probably make it a lot easier if you don't understand that. So you can see the distance from target is getting smaller and smaller. I overshoot a little bit, but that's fine. 100 meters is plenty fine. If I can see the spacecraft, it's fine. So you can see fly safe 2. We're getting closer and closer. You can see it flying towards us. And I start to burn a little bit too late because it obviously flies away from us. But we see we're doing a retrograde burn into the direction that our spacecraft is going compared to that other spacecraft. So we're basically slowing down to its speed perfectly. And now the relative... What the heck? So I guess I skipped the docking. Oh, okay. This is the funny part. I tried to do an EVA. I just skipped to this footage. Boom! It just explodes my craft after the first time I docked. So I had to quick save, right? Because I guess EVAing just triggered a bug and my spacecraft just blew up. It's just a bug, I suppose. But in the next clip, you can see where I started docking. Basically, you stop, all the speed relative to the other spacecraft is completely gone, and then you just slowly start creeping towards it with your RCS thrusters, those little white thrusters right there. And see, we docked, and our spacecraft are linked on the nose with the docking ports. I also figured out that you can fire both of the engines from, like, whenever you docked, you can fire both engines at the same time, which is, I don't think, a feature that was in Kerbal Space Program 1, but either way, that gives me ideas for, like, so you can build much larger ships in orbit than you can on Earth, because obviously you have to get a large spacecraft up there, which is a lot of drag, so you want to build it piece by piece with little pieces to make a bigger spacecraft in orbit. That way you don't have to worry about aerodynamics, because it really doesn't matter in space because there is no air to worry about. Anyway, so you can link multiple engines together on the spacecraft and have them all throttle together with your single throttle and have a multi-engine spacecraft. Anyway, this is an hourglass shape. It's perfectly symmetrical, so that means that the center of lift is right in the middle, so you can see we didn't fall heat shield down, which is fine because I guess they haven't introduced heating in this game yet, re-entry heating, so it's fine. And I just decided to separate the crafts for the landing, so everything's good. Also sped up this video way more than I thought. I tried to keep it under 10 minutes, but this is a video that probably required a lot more explaining than I'm doing right now. So yeah, we're at the 12-minute mark right now, I think. And you can see I get out of the craft and I am just walking around, just because I haven't done an EVA on Earth before in like a grassland. Like, listen to those noises, like a little twigs crunching under his feet. Look at the little guy go. What's his name? Is that Tim C. Kerman? So this is a reference to Tim C. Dodds, who is the everyday astronaut. He's a YouTuber that does space news and all kinds of great videos. You should really check him out. Everyday astronaut. His name is Tim Dodds, and they made him a Kerbal in this game, which is really cool because there's many YouTubers that cameo. I mean, the whole reason why the default name for spacecraft called Fly Safe, there's a reason for that. It's because Scott Manley, a very famous Kerbal Space Program YouTuber, says that at the end of his videos to say goodbye. He says, "Fly safe." And I just thought that was really cool because all these YouTubers helped with the development of this game, and they're still helping. So I just think it's neat that they put that in mind. So we recovered the vessel from the tracking station, I think. And I think that's it for the video, yeah. So, I'll see you guys another time. Subscribe, like the video, I don't know. I don't really care. Do it if you want to, if you think that I've deserved such wondrous things. I'm just making these videos for you guys as entertainment. So, I guess give me more recommendations. Also, to the commenter that commented, put a green plane into orbit. I am getting to that. It's just, I tried making that video, and every single rocket I tried to launch, space shuttle, like, style rocket I tried to launch with, that was a green airplane, as the shuttle module, just crashed and burned, and I couldn't make it stable. So I'll have to figure that out later. I might make an SSTO. But currently, on my mind, I have a moon mission. That's my next video, but that might change. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, thank you for being that, like, 2% that have stuck to the end of my videos. I don't know who you are. It's probably one specific person I can think of. I'm sure you know who you are, too, if you're hearing this. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully next Sunday if I can make the schedule. Bye-bye.